I'm here with Alexandra Stapleton, and you have told me that we are going to make our own stamps.
Yes, we are.
I'm super excited. How do we get started?
So we're going to take a silicone sheet, and you just want to remove one of the protective sides. You want to leave the other one on, and we're going to take our cutting mat.
Does it matter which side you take off?
It doesn't, no. They're both the same. Just leave one side on, and the one that you've taken off is the side you're going to stick down onto your cutting mat. And I'm going to put this in the top left-hand corner, and that's just where I've loaded my designs onto. So wherever you've loaded your designs is where you want to pop your silicone onto. And I'm going to put this into our machine and load that in. And of course, you can cut anything. So you could do your handmade by Julie stamps. You could do a custom invitation, you know, come to Julie's birthday party.
And of course, it could be something that you drew if you like to draw. It could be something that you found. If you're a person who doesn't like to draw, you can really, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whatever you want.
Yes. So you could do frames, you could do children's birthday invitations, wedding invitations, you know, all those kinds of things. You really can do anything at all. So, you know, it's absolutely endless.
And I was going to say, you picked the images that you wanted, and you did more than one at a time, which I think is really cool. And now the blade is detecting how thick that material is and just going ahead and cutting it.
Right. I haven't had to tell it anything. I've just said, cut this sheet of designs, go ahead and cut.
And leave me alone while I have fun doing something else.
Exactly. Let me chat while you go ahead and cut, and I'll do my thing.
Well, let's take a peek just for a second at some of your finished ones.
Yes.
And you can see here how cool they are, and you've done some layering and stuff, which is really neat. I think that's a nice way to do stamping always, is when you create that sort of dimensional layering.
Yes. And the other thing I've done once I did the stamping was I wanted to use a sentiment over the top of that, but just to kind of differentiate, I just put a piece of vellum in between because it just makes your sentiment stand out a little bit. So you can
that's that transparent piece that appears there.
Yes. And then I just took a chipboard sentiment and made that kind of my actual sentiment on the card.
Cool. So what do we do now?
So once we've cut our stamps, we're actually then going to be stamping with them to create this. And I want to show you how to do some symmetrical stamping.
Okay.
So whilst they're stamping, you can see I've already cut some stamps. Yeah. So let's use one of those.
Which one would you like?
Pick your favorite, Julie, whatever
you like. That's too hard to choose. I guess maybe a flower, is that cool?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh, it's so delicate.
Yeah, so you can see you can get some really fine lines and some intricate details in there. But this tool here is going to allow me to stamp this kind of symmetrical pattern, which is the cool part. So
it's like a stencil.
Kind of like a stencil. So I have a 4-inch piece of cardstock, which is what this one fits, and I just pop it in here, pop my flower where I want it to go, close my lid. I'm going to grab...
And it picks up the stamp, basically.
Picks up the stamp. And I'm going to grab my ink cube and ink up as I need to.
Now, do you have to worry that you got ink outside of it?
Nope, I just clean it up afterwards, just with a piece of kitchen towel.
So messy is okay. I like that.
Messy is good.
And so you're re-inking the same stamp, and you didn't move it or anything.
Nope. So if I didn't get a perfect image, this one I needed to do a couple of times
until you get it exactly how you want it, and it's going in the exact same spot every single time. So while you continue to stamp, I'm going to go ahead and just grab these stamps and pop some of them out for you.
Thank you. So I'm just rotating this, and I draw arrows on mine just so I know what direction I'm going to rotate in, because I would forget while I'm stamping.
I would forget all the time. I always think like tools are meant to be used, and I think a lot of people get worried about writing on them or drawing on them or doing any of that stuff. But really, again, like they're meant to be used. It's something that you should absolutely do.
Exactly. And if it makes your life easier, I think it's so much.
Oh my gosh. If it makes your life easier, it's like I would rather use a dishwasher than hand wash, right? And so this is the same thing.
So just put some Sharpie arrows on there, and it'll make your life so much quicker when you're stamping. But you can see here, I just rotate it, and it's getting that perfect symmetry in there.
So I'm just pulling out all these stamps, and I'm just pulling the plastic that's still on one of the sides right off, but you can see that we've gotten this wide variety of different stamps here.
Yep, so I did a frame, I did the envelope there, because I thought that'd be neat to put on the back of the envelopes when you've made a card.
Super cute, I love that idea. Sealed with a kiss.
There you go.
And you know, sometimes you have to work a little bit hard to, you know, pop out these pieces. They are cut. You just have to sort of get after them and poke them out.
Well, I just have one of these like little pokey tools that I use.
Much easier than my big fingers.
There you go.
So you're just stamping away, and because you are using that stencil, you're able to actually figure out how and where to place those so that they're going to be in the corners perfectly.
Right, and if I had a smaller one, I also have the option of doing it, having 8 of them on there, not just the 4.
Oh, because you can put it at an angle.
Right.
I see. That's really cool.
Yeah, so now I have 4 of them on there, perfectly spaced, and it just makes it so much easier.
You know, I have to say, Alexandra, I'm always impressed. You always bring craft projects that are very clean and neat and perfect, but you have all these tricks that make it easy and make it feel like somebody who's messy like me, like I could actually do that too.
So I have to say I'm a really lazy crafter. So I'm all about having the tools, the tricks to do things quickly, simply, 5-minute cards, 10-minute cards. I can't sit for hours and make a card. I want to be able to do it quickly.
So how do we finish this up and turn it into a card?
So for this one, this is how I did it here. You can see I took a card base. This was 4.5 inches and then 9 inches long. Put it in half, popped it onto a 4.25 inch black piece of cardstock, piece of vellum across, and a piece of chipboard that I just used some acrylic paint on. Nothing difficult on that. And then just a couple of pieces of the glitter dots on there, and it was done.
And you know what? It is fabulous.
Just like you, Julie.
Well, thank you, Alexandra, because you are
thank you for
fabulous,
having me.
and you always bring fabulous projects. This was easy and fun.
Thanks so much, Julie.